Okay. We have our many-part series on different countries in GeoGuessr, and today we have one of the major countries of the world, Canada, and it is the country that is the closest to me that I do not live in. Let's see. So we have, that's interesting. The third choice is the official map. Um, okay. So you can see I've gotten, a pretty high score on this map, a goal, 24,943 points. Okay, so we'll go with usual settings. Okay. Uh, so just preliminarily, I'll say this is probably Western Canada. Just from the appearance, I think it could be Ontario, maybe. Let's see, we have Jasper Place. Okay, that's a sign in English. So we're almost immediately know we're not in Quebec. Um, Maybe we are in Ontario, it is kind of. No, we aren't allowed to go that way. Um, yeah, so this neighborhood actually looks kind of unlike the United States, like there's a lot of multifamily housing, which in the US you mostly just see in denser urban areas. There's like a tower this size definitely is, something that would be a big city thing in the United States, and this doesn't look like that, like this. Okay, we've got some big road. Um, okay, there's the Esso station, Tim Hortons. Um, I'm not sure if they even are called Esso in the United States anymore. I think they may all be Exxon now. Um, Wait, there's a bus shelter that may tell us the area that we're in. Um, um, yeah, I can't really see anything obvious on the Brandon City 780. 780 is Edmonton area. Um, yeah, Edmonton itself might be a good choice. This could be an outer outlying part of the city. Oh, 165th and 87th. Yeah, that those are big numbers. Um, so we're likely on there's 153rd, 167th was wait, no, it's 87th Avenue and 165th Street. So 87th Avenue is farther down here. I see. So 100 is actually close to downtown. So, it solves the problem of, directionality, I guess. Um, yeah. Okay, so timed out while I was getting it fixed, but I would have gotten a high score on that if it hadn't timed out. Um, we have Hayward Road. Yeah, this is Eastern. I can't really tell from what I see so far if it's Ontario or Atlantic Canada. Um, Also, I haven't seen, can't completely rule out Quebec yet, but I think we're close. Like there's, if you don't see any French, yep. Um, Restaurant variety store. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think that this is, again, okay. We have helipad, fire hall. Sign for the helipad suggests that we may be in an area that has, medevac for, you know, uh, service from a distant hospital. That isn't actually that unusual in North America. They do that where I live, and I wouldn't really describe this by North American standards as being a remote area. This is a wonderful Canadian sign. Um, I don't think I want to go this way. I'll just return to start. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm thinking from the general, I think that this is kind of a, out there location, but it doesn't look particularly northern. I'm thinking it might be in, New Brunswick or Nova Scotia. Um, and New Brunswick has a lot of bilingual signs. And in some parts of New Brunswick, French is actually the principal language. Like I think, Edmundston has a francophone majority. Um, Ardbeg, a strange sounding name. Um, Sounds like it could be Scottish. That doesn't mean anything because there's actual, that Scottish is sort of a theme nationally for place names in Canada. Nova Scotia being just one example. Um, yeah, I'm thinking maybe this is more toward Halifax, like someplace around the Atlantic, like relatively warm and oh, and this is Northern Ontario, which I was not expecting. I thought that areas here would be more Nordic than that. Yeah, there's Ardbeg. So I was right about the helipad indicating that, it was a more remote sort of location, right? Um, that in in eastern Canada there's sort of a cutoff of population, that it's kind of along this line of where the forest boundary is shown on Google Maps, and then that there's also an area of less population, that there's not much really in the Atlantic Canada. Population is concentrated strongly right here, right, in Prince Edward Island, the central part of Nova Scotia and southern New Brunswick, and also on the tip of Newfoundland here, uh, has population, and then the rest is generally kind of remote kind of areas. And so that's an important, beginner's tip on Canada is to know which parts of Canada are largely unpopulated. Now, a largely unpopulated area can, of course, have outposts in it. I mean, Fort McMurray comes to mind, which is, we have École Varennes. Um, so this is, I think Varennes is near Montreal, but Um, okay, so the acupuncturist has signs in English, however. Um, so perhaps that is a francophone school in an anglophone area, which would suggest probably Ontario or New Brunswick. Elm Park, CH, and Road, that's bilingual. Old St. Vital, could this be, could be Ottawa, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, okay, 204. 204 is Manitoba. Um, As just from the appearance, I'd say, like there's a good chance of this being Winnipeg itself. The second largest town in Manitoba is Brandon, which I think has about 40,000 people. So St. Mary's Road. Um, Let's see. I thought that St. Mary's might actually be a place in the Winnipeg area, but let's see. CH St. Mary's Road, St. Mary's Infirmary. Yeah, it's interesting that there's any bilingualism at all here. Usually you think of that being mostly confined to Eastern Canada. Um, Although there was that Varennes school, maybe there's a particular area in Winnipeg. That's another thing. Is there a Varennes? Um, um, yeah, in Western provinces also, that there's a tendency, sometimes for Indigenous people to speak French. That. Oh, there was St. Mary's Road. I just saw it right before it timed out. Okay, so I was 4.8 kilometers away from plunking it in the middle of Winnipeg because once I saw 204 and the general appearance, it didn't look like it could be anywhere other than the Winnipeg area. Um, okay. Um, Ontario, probably. 275, something. Um, Maybe not Ontario with the hills there. Um, I mean, there are places with those sorts of things. 902 is Nova Scotia. Um, okay, so yeah, similar climate to Ontario at least, right? In Nova Scotia, it doesn't get as hot in the summer. Like it's more moderated by the Atlantic. But um, let's see, Dolan Family Soccer Field's town of Amherst. Um, okay, might be Amherst. There was the guy that Amherst, Massachusetts is named after, and Amherstburg near Windsor is named after the same guy, but you pronounce the H in that one, so it's okay. There's Amherst. Um, yeah, so Amherst is in the Isthmus of Chignecto, is what that's called. Um, uh, yeah, Chignecto there is, when you see those sorts of, almost Italian sounding indigenous place names in North America, that often, indicates that you're in an area with, historically Algonquin languages. And like I mean, the more stereotypical Algonquin indigenous language are things like Ojibwa, like from farther to the west, but that Algonquin languages extended down the east coast, from Virginia northward to the Gulf of St. Lawrence. So um, let's see, 1.8. Okay, so I didn't find the specific location, but Amherst got me close. Um, hmm. Do I want to guess Ontario again preliminarily? That I guess part of it is that Ontario is so kind of average for Canada. Is that a French flag? That's interesting. Um, there's hills here. That makes me think more, Eastern Canada. Um, typically hilly parts of Ontario are in the north. Oh, we're out of road. Um, yeah, what do I think? Is this New Brunswick? Um, well, down here, where the population is in New Brunswick. Um, oh yeah, Canada often has these group mailboxes in places where in the U.S. there would be the stereotypical U.S. mailbox, although there is the stereotypical U.S. mailbox. Um, but yeah, this is another sign of Canada, especially since it says Canada right on the thing. Um, but yeah, those kind of group mailboxes are in Canada you can find them even in rural areas. Um, Yeah, it definitely has an Appalachian appearance. I haven't even seen enough language to rule out Quebec, right? Like this certainly could be Appalachian Quebec, like in Estrie or Beauce. Hmm. Oh, Prenez garde aux chiens. So that this is then, so this is Estrie, this is Beauce up here. Um, so I'll just pluck it in the middle of Sherbrooke for now, and then okay, so it was near Edmundston. It was New Brunswick. Okay, so as I mentioned, um, yeah, actually, I specifically mentioned Edmundston earlier in the stream as a area of New Brunswick with a large French-speaking population. And I think in New Brunswick, Edmundston is a majority French-speaking town, um, and that in the south, Moncton the has a large French minority, and then the neighborhood Dieppe in Moncton, which I think is actually technically a different town. Dieppe has a French majority. Um, there are a few French majority towns in Ontario too. The westernmost one I think is Kapuskasing, which is up here. Although I want to say there's a large French-speaking population in Dryden, which is actually west of Thunder Bay, but I'd have to look this up to be sure. Um, all right, so first game was not too bad. Um, okay, so let's keep going. Yeah, this kind of rock here. This suggests to me that we're in what's called the Canadian Shield, which is the area, north of the populated parts of Ontario and Quebec. Here we have, a very non-U.S. sign, you know, uh, not lingual at all. Um, this could be a Western landscape, though, that. But yeah, I'm definitely leaning in the direction of northern Ontario or Quebec. Um, this is not Quebec, obviously, because this sign is not even bilingual, which also, that means that maybe this isn't even Ontario. Um, Center lane yield, yeah. Um, People have pointed out that in Western Canada you sometimes even see bollards, which okay, so if this is Western, where is it? Um, it's not it's not a really dramatically mountainous landscape, right? Um, let's see, does this truck have anything on it? Farrell's Excavating Company, so that's likely to be local, but doesn't seem to have an address or anything on it. Um, it could even be the Western Canadian Shield, right? It extends into Manitoba, and there's those highlands also west of Lake Winnipeg over here. But I want to say more, that it might be up here, like Fort Nelson or that does definitely look like ancient Canadian Shield rock, though. It's um hmm and ooh, it was Newfoundland. Okay, so that's what does it mean you earned your first point? Did I get one on that round? Okay. Um, Centennial. We've got red dirt. I don't know where they have that in Canada. Um, yeah, these kind of trees I've seen in Alaska that you have this kind of thing that as it gets colder and colder, there's a decline in biodiversity in trees, and then you get to the point where there's one tree left, and that varies in different northern areas. But this does look, that does look like it could be that tree, except there's these look like there's some deciduous things in them though, so it's not that. But yeah, this is still a very northern looking environment. Um, but yeah, the existence of some deciduous trees suggests to me that maybe it's not really pushing the tree line. Definitely, though, in the town we're getting into, though, it does have kind of that Arctic base look, like that. There's this road is paved. Um, Usually, pavement is a sign that you want to get on it. There's more stuff there. Um, yep, we got the trailer park. Yeah, in fact, it looks like we have regular buildings on stilts also, which makes me wonder if is that the igloo in Iqaluit, or there's one in I don't know. There's also an igloo in Inuvik that I ran into on a previous round. Um, yeah, I mean Inuvik I think did sort of look like that, I mean it, but certainly, oh yeah, yeah, everything being on stilts is definitely a deep northern characteristic, like often is the result of dealing with permafrost. Oh, there's Centennial. Okay, we are in Inuvik. Um, okay, so from the start, we had some intersection outside the city. Okay, so I was 276 meters off with, yeah, it was this marine bypass road, like, so Centennial goes into the town from there. Uh, you'll notice here also another, feature of Inuvik. It contains one of the northernmost mosques in the world. Okay, we have Guburasa, Jean Talon. You'll notice no English on the signs, so we are almost definitely in Quebec. And Bourassa was the name of, actually two important figures in the history of Quebec. There's, I think, the dam at the Manicouagan River Reservoir, like the big circular lake from a dammed impact crater in Quebec. I think that's the Robert Bourassa Dam. Let's see, Circuit Nord, Autobus. We have Super C. Yep. See, it's not France. It's not France. In France, the signs say stop because Quebec is actually the policies are even more French than in France. Let's see. We have Evangeline. Um, let's see. Evangeline is a fictitious character. An Acadian um, expelled from what is now New Brunswick by the British in the 18th century. There's a novel about that. Um, yeah, and from the lack of English, I think that this is not New Brunswick. This is Quebec. Um, let's see. I'm thinking Montreal area from the general appearance, although we've got fairly massive hills though. Like that's visible from an urban area. Maybe this is more. Oh, there's here worst named store ever. Rona. They gotta fix that. Yeah, I've even seen a okay. So it was in Granby, which is not really a suburb of Montreal. So um, yeah, the mountains were more visible from here because you can see that Granby is on the edge of the Appalachians. That you can see here. Um, and then up in the Appalachians you can see there's much more forest cover, and then this area is called Estrie right here around Sherbrooke. Um, okay, Roach's Line and Mackinson's. Okay, Trans Canada Highway, Juniper Lake, Mackinson's. Okay, so we've got uh, 4-lane divided highway out here. Well, no, maybe not. There's a. Let's see what the signs up here say. Um, where do I think this is? British Columbia, I'd say most likely. Oh no, no, this is Newfoundland. We have Harbor Grace and Carbonear. Um, and so the Trans Canada Highway, here is, the one marked with the maple leaf, right? Um, let's see, Carbonear, I think is, where is it? It's over, there it is, okay. Um, let's see, Bay Roberts, Harbor Grace, Carbonear. Oh yeah, yeah, okay. So this is, oh, there's Mackinson's, which was on that sign. Um, but it has to be near the Canadian Trans-Canadian Highway. So it's got, oh, yeah, that's where we were, right? So we're on this Veterans Memorial Highway, Route 75, looks like, where we started. Wait, is that another? See, it says Trans-Canada Highway that way, which implies that we are not on it, but yeah, it's gotta be around there, right? Oh, okay, it was this thing up here. So, hmm, all right. Um, Saskatchewan or that sort of area, right? Unmistakable. Ontario can be big, flat, and empty, but not like this. Ontario has a lot more trees. Let's see, Compton, um, something gas pipeline, low pressure sweet gas pipeline, something like that. Um, yep, big empty roads that intersect at right angles is very very Canadian prairies. Yeah, it tends a little bit toward the dry, although not. I don't, this isn't like Swift Current or someplace like that, which, really can, uh, have a semi-desert sort of appearance. Oh, there's bollards. Um, I don't know which Canadian bollards there are, but I know that, like the Canadian bollards are often an indicator that you are in Alberta. But I don't know if they're exclusive to that. Um, So I'll guess, no, maybe further to the north, I think. Maybe Wainwright, Vermilion, Lloydminster, like around there. And I'm probably going to just click until I don't find anything. Um, let's see, Centron Booster Station. Hmm. There's a cattle grade indicating that this area may not have, that this area has unfenced cows. Oh, 403 is Alberta, yeah, and 403 is southern Alberta. That the northern half is 780. So it's got to be, like maybe here. Could be down even as far as Medicine Hat. But as I said, like it starts to get more of a desert appearance there. Um, Industrial lots for sale. That says what? Lytton Industrial. Okay. It was much closer to Calgary than I had thought, which I guess the signs for the industrial lots might have been a sign. Was it Langdon, maybe? Don't know. Okay. So, I guess there's, I typically do three rounds on major countries, so here's our last game. Um, you'll notice we haven't really gotten a lot of Ontario, which I've noticed in the Canada map, it actually, uh, there's surprisingly little Ontario in it. I mean, Ontario contains something like 40% of the population of Canada. And in fact, about a quarter of the population of Canada lives just in the Greater Toronto Area, or GTA, a term which, like sounds silly to a lot of people. Um, but I remember seeing a joke article about, like how they should actually make a Grand Theft Auto game for Canada. You know, maximum 32T, big mountains. Okay, so I'm going to go then again with west of Calgary. Like Canmore, Banff. That sort of area. Um, Although it looks like it might be locally flat, right? And then right at the bottom of the mountains, right? That horse crossing. Um, Actually, looking at the lushness of things, I'm thinking maybe this is more toward the Pacific Ocean. Um, I think this is in Alberta. I think this is maybe Vancouver Island. Should have checked which direction the mountains were in too. That would have helped. Um, Development application 604 is Vancouver area. 250 is outlying. I can't remember if 604 includes Vancouver Island or not. We have Maple Ridge. Oh, there, mapleridge.ca. Maple Ridge is near Vancouver, right? Um, yeah, there's Maple Ridge. Okay. Um, all right, 3 kilometers from the correct location. Um, yep. So I have a viewers. Okay. Yep. So we have. Let's see. Do I think this looks kind of like a northern forest environment? Like my first thought again is northern parts of um, let's see, 320 South Valleyfield. There's one of those in Quebec, but that I know that this is not near Montreal like that Valleyfield is. Oh, Gander 157. It's Newfoundland again. Okay, so that's that's another one. I keep thinking it's northern Quebec or Ontario, and it turns out to be Newfoundland, which I guess should have a similar appearance, right? We have Gander 157, Lumsden 23, and Musgrave Harbor. Gander is here. Musgrave Harbor is there. Lumsden 23 is there. Okay, so it's probably got to be this 330, right? It's got to be 23 kilometers from Lumsden, which it's hard to judge size on these maps. Um, Maybe it's down here. Um, We have New West Valley, Valleyfield, Badgers Key, and Pool Island. Okay. Uh, Here, looks like. Right, is that the, yeah, so, yeah, I'm thinking it's gotta be that junction, right? Because the other, no, the other one could look like that, but I think also that one would probably mention Wesleyville, which I think yeah, I'm thinking this has to be that one. Okay, so I came into it from that way, right, which means that I'm up here, maybe? Yeah, okay. Yeah, 303 meters is a good guess for being so far out, without a whole lot of things on that road. We have RV park gas. This looks a bit like a round that I've seen in Prince Rupert area in British Columbia. So that's sort of near the southern tip of Alaska. Um, there's another flag here. I don't know that one. I think it's not British Columbia though, because I think British Columbia's flag actually has a Union Jack in it. Um, we have Beaver Creek. Um, we have wildfire danger. Wildfire danger, of course, is another feature often of Western Canada. We have Beaver Creek Health Station. Um, oh wait, it says Yukon down here. Okay, I was not expecting it to be that far north. Um, Next question: where's Beaver Creek? There's only a few roads in Yukon, so right near the Alaska border. Okay. Let's see, RV park gas. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's got yeah, there's probably only one RV park in the area, so that's got to be here. Yep, yep, 5K in Yukon. I got a 5K in Yukon. Okay. French. Uh, Somebody smashed up their sign. We have the McDonald's. Yeah, these horizontal traffic lights I've noticed that, and oddly with a red light on both sides. Um, those are Quebec. I think we have Boulevard Notre Dame. Let's see, Banque Laurentienne, Curé Lebel. Um, let's see, um, Le Scratch. um, Oh, and something I've got to say about Quebec looks very, very unlike France. So, okay, we have 450 is Montreal non-central. The center of Montreal is 514. Um, okay, we have dépanneur, which means a convenience store. Um, let's see, Garderie Agape. Um, yeah, Jarry and Notre Dame. Um, Arabic on sign, like that. Also suggests maybe Montreal area. Well, we know that from 450 anyway. I think 514 is both Montreal Island and Laval, but I'm not sure. So as I mentioned again, that from that if you that in Quebec there is not much bilingualism. That in fact, signs tend to not have English on them. Um, let's see, ordinateur. Yeah, if we knew we had something with a town in it. Paquet et Fils. Okay, so school bus does not have the school district on it. Um, okay. Okay, so my question has been answered. This was in Laval, and it did have a 450 number. So that means that 514 must just be the island. Okay. There's another McDonald's. Um, Chicken Corral. Oh, Nipawa's finest cuisine. Nipawa is Ontario, but where is it? I want to say it's part of Ottawa. No, I'm thinking of Nepean, maybe. Um, Nipawa. Uh, yeah, uh, maybe Northern Ontario, right? That it. Yeah, I don't remember where Nipawa is. Let's see, Minnedosa Dauphin. Oh, Dauphin is in Manitoba here. So, um, let's see, where's Nipawa? Down here. Wait, we were dropped near the McDonald's. There's probably just one of those, yeah. Um, in a town that size, right? It's north, so we're on this McBride Avenue. Interesting. We have a building building off the ground there. I guess it's manufactured housing of some kind, right? Okay, so there's the end of the road. We're about there. 1 meter. Okay. So I guess that means that we're done now. And yeah, so interestingly, we noticed some things that the interesting thing is that we had 15 rounds in 3 games. I don't think it dropped us in the GTA once. Greater Toronto area. We were in the Vancouver area and the Montreal area, but no GTA in the entire stream. Um, and yeah, that's something in general that I've noticed with GeoGuessr is that it unless something is done to balance it, it will give you a whole lot of rural areas, and Canada's definitely got those.